Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing great today. Okay, so I have a very interesting video that I want to share with all of us. After watching this video, you are going to understand why I have been screaming for so many years that our people need to pay attention and listen to Mother Nature. We have been made to drift so far away from nature because of all the mind control programming that they are dishing out on mainstream media, because of the high profile deception that have been presented to us over the years. We kept drifting away from nature, forgetting that God, when he made man, he took man and placed him in the center of nature. And you, especially you who is an African, you know that you are living in the center of nature. And then someone else tells you that it's okay to drift away from nature so you can have more money and have more yield, and you listen to them. I'm going to play you a video that will shock you. But before I play you that video, I want you to understand that you are a target. You are the number one target. Remember the years in the past when I made multiple videos and told us about mass depopulation program. The reason the mass depopulation was necessary or is necessary for them is because they need to get you out of this world in order for them to take over your place in this world. God made the world specifically custom made for you and I, and he also made us in his image. But every time you wake up alive, you don't know that you are an affront to the devil. You are an insult to the devil because you are radiating the glory and image of God, regardless of whatever religion you belong to. Have you heard that before? Just the fact that you are made in the image of God is an affront to the devil. So he wants you out of this place. They've messed up their own world where God cast them. They now want to take over our world. And so they have devised so many means of getting you out of here. And one of the most effective things they've devised is how to change your DNA, which is where God signed his signature when he made you. The next one is to destroy your immunity by giving you all kinds of diseases and poisons in terms of food. That's where we got something called genetically modified organisms, GMO. Years past, I made a video about GMO, and I even called out Monsanto, the biggest GMO manufacturing company in the world. I called out Monsanto on what they're doing in South Africa and other parts of Africa. And not long after I made that video, I began to hear about Bill Gates making inroads into Africa and pumping in millions and billions of dollars for people of African descent on African soil to abandon nature, to abandon organic seeds and organic living, and begin to chase after the money that they present to them so they can take GMO seeds and plant them on our naturally organic soils in Africa.
You both have talked about how digital technologies from mobile phones to sequencing genomes of seeds could play a very big role in farming in Africa. How big of a role do you see small farmers playing in this effort? Are you focusing on bigger farmers? Just how is this going to play out?
We are quite focused on smallholder farmers because the predominant number of Africans farming today are smallholder farmers, and they're on pieces of land that are less than 2 hectares, so it's quite a small farm. There are agro dealers that exist in these countries. We need to get that network up and running, just like we've got the vaccine network up and running and getting vaccines out, getting up and running so they're teaching people proper planting, proper fertilize, proper irrigation, and getting them new seeds as they come out. There's fantastic technology going on for pest-resistant seeds, for drought-resistant seeds, flood-resistant seeds as the rains come at different times. And so as people are educated about them and they start to see their neighbors getting, a third more yield off their farm, they say, I want those. So getting those systems up and running. Again, one of the most promising places we see that happening is Ethiopia today.
GMO seeds. And they have been making serious progress to that effect. Before I share the rest of my thoughts on this, I want you to watch this video.
Did you know that Vladimir Putin, the Russian's president, he's passed a law that any Russian who grows or sells genetically modified foods is to be considered a terrorist. Whew. He's even giving land away to Russians who will grow food organically, non-GMO. You put his name and GMO in Google that and you'll read the spiel. He says, we Russians look across at the West, over-vaccinated, over-medicated, overfed, sitting in front of boxes every night in their lounge rooms, eating food that has no nutrients, he said, and we know it's weakening the West. Is he right? Absolutely right. Yeah. Unfortunately, Monsanto is so powerful and so wealthy and so big, they win every court case where Australians want GMO to be labelled on the products. Happens in America too. It's unfortunate. So how do you know? Well, you don't, unless you buy organic. You see, if an organic farmer uses genetically modified seed, they lose their organic status. So grow as much as you can yourself. And the more Aussies that buy organic, the more organic will be available. One organic tomato will give you 9 times the iron of a conventionally grown tomato. So you get much more value for your money, even though organic is more expensive. Genetically modified food happens when the DNA of 2 different species are spliced together to create, for instance, DNA of the tomato with the DNA of an Atlantic salmon, hoping to create a tomato that grows in the snow, but actually it doesn't grow in the snow. And it has 5 centres instead of 1, and there's all these strange things happening, and when the person eats that tomato, it breaks down to molecules that your body cannot recognise and has the ability to damage your DNA.
That's the same Putin, the devil, the evil man of the East. Do you know what these people have done? That anybody who farms or deals with GMO in Russia, that person is going to be regarded as a terrorist. Did you hear that well? Terrorist for meddling with GMO in Russia. And she went further to explain to you what GMOs do to your DNA. Didn't I tell you already? The battle is against your DNA because, like I've said in the past, and I've shared this video a couple of times in most of my video publications, that God, when he made man, wrote his signature, he signed his signature in our DNA. Your DNA code actually represents God. It actually tells you clearly that God is the one who made you. It's almost like a trademark. The trademark on you as a product made by the hands of God is found in your DNA.
Did you know that scientists have actually found the name of God in our DNA? While exploring the nucleic acids in our DNA, scientists actually found a sequence that spells the name of God. The sequence revealed these 4 letters, Yod, He, Va, He, which actually spells the name of God. And this sequence is found in every person's DNA. It's the thumbprint of God proving that he's real.
If anybody has to change you, it is your DNA they have to change first. If anybody needs to destroy you, they have to go straight to your DNA. Not even in your heart, not even in your brain. They go to your DNA, they change who you are. They can change you from being a human being to being an entirely different creature on earth. The whole idea is, let there be no God in any man walking on earth. Let there be no image of God. Let there be beasts without souls walking on the surface of the earth. This is what the devil wants. I have been to a few countries in Africa, and it is so heartbreaking to see the rate at which our people are embracing GMO foods because of the money that people like Bill Gates or Bill and Melinda Gates and all these other Western powers are giving to them. To some of us, it's just really all about money. But how far can this blood money take you, my people? Africans, we were born with organic foods and organic plants in a very organic and natural planet and continent. Why is it that we are suddenly, because of money, walking away from reality and embracing unreality? What is happening to us? I shared the story of how I went to South Africa, Joburg, and I told them I wanted to eat some fruits, and they bought me mangoes and stuff. And the mango was looking like pawpaw, and I could not eat it. I almost wanted to throw up. I've shared with us how I went to a few places, even in Ghana, and a few places, even in some parts of Nigeria. You plant orange. You know that orange will take a number of years to begin to produce seeds. And within a few months, your orange is giving you some seed and ripening. You're enjoying, you're happy to go and drink the orange. Dwarf trees like this, just a few months, and they're already producing seeds. And you take it, pluck it, and then you go and give it to people to eat. And you also eat with your family. Do you know what you're doing to yourself? You are eating poison.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation funds an organization in Africa called AGRA. AGRA stands for Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, and it is meant to support small-scale farmers. They say that's their objective, by giving them genetically engineered seeds, or what is normally referred to as GMOs, for them to grow. But it turns out that instead of supporting the small-scale farmers, it seems AGRA is hurting the small-scale farmers, or doing worse than it's supposed to do. So there is a report where faith leaders are criticizing the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for this highly problematic agriculture project. This institute is based in Cape Town and is comprised of African traditional healers, members of the Baha'i, Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Jewish, Quaker faiths, and a wide range of Christian denominations. Quote, we appeal to the Gates Foundation and AGRA, which is the Alliance for a Green Revolution in Africa, to stop promoting failed technologies and outdated extension methods and start listening to the farmers who are developing appropriate solutions for their contexts. However, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has so far given $450 million to this AGRA to promote GMOs in 11 African countries. Those are their priorities. And I'm going to read for you these countries. So AGRA is based in Nairobi, Kenya. The countries include Ghana, Nigeria, Mali, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Malawi, and Mozambique.
Let me give you an idea, because Bill Gates is busy spending billions and millions on this, but you need to listen to what he said recently on the issue of GMO foods in Africa.
There's been talk of gene editing and really getting high tech with seeds. Of course, there's some controversy over that. How big of a role do you think technology and gene editing may be used to really tackle the food problem?
Yeah, what are called GMOs are done by changing the genes of the plant, and it's done in a way where there's a very thorough safety procedure, and it's pretty incredible because it reduces the amount of pesticide you need, raises productivity.
So basically, Bill Gates is telling you that gene editing is taking place in the seeds that they are giving you to plant. So they edit the gene, meaning that the gene is no longer the same. You take the gene of an organic thing and you edit it. You remove some things and make it even resistant to pesticides. So when you put pesticides on it, it does not do anything to it. Even things that come to eat crops will not eat it because it is a genetically modified seed. And this kind of thing does not even decay. It doesn't give you anything. It has absolutely no nutrient. All it does, it affects your DNA and then it destroys your immune system. If your immune system is not there, how are you going to be able to withstand all these diseases that are pumping into the system today? How are you going to withstand? You have no idea what you're doing to yourself. In this period of mass infection, in this period where sicknesses are everywhere, people look so healthy, And they'll be walking. The next minute you hear the person is dead. And you're wondering, when did he become sick? We were just here together yesterday. The structure that makes us who we are, they are dismantling them one by virtue of the things we eat. I remember when I first showed up in Nigeria from the USA, after 3 whole years of not leaving America, I came back to Nigeria and I began to eat like somebody who just came out of prison. And I didn't understand why I was eating so much. I could eat like 5, 6 times a day. And I'm not that kind of person. I don't usually eat. I just take my fruits and stuff like that. It was later on I found out that what was going on was that when I started eating African food that had a lot of, strong nutrients in them, organic nutrients in them, it began to nourish me all over again. That all the 3 years that I was in America, that my immune system was being destroyed and dismantled. So at this time that I showed up in Africa, I was just building them back up again. And that's why I was eating like someone who left a prison cell. And so, my people, I'm just dropping this word of advice to us. Let us say no to GMO foods. Let us say no to GMO foods, my people. This is the best time for you to run to organic foods. Reject all those things on a large scale, no matter what country they are, no matter how much they've spent to farm all those farms. Let's reject them. Whether it is corn or tomatoes or whatever, once you find out from them that these things are GMO, reject it. Once we bankrupt them, all of them will go back to the natural organic things that God blessed us with. And I hope that this helps much. God bless you.